This one is the 10th session of industrial economics, and which is the last session of the first chapter of industrial economics. So under this session it is related to MNCs and their role. Introduction. A multinational company is one which is incorporated in one country but whose operation extend beyond the home country and which carries on businesses in other countries in addition to the home country. So meaning, it must be emphasized that the headquarters of a multinational company are located in the home country. Definition of MNCs. A multinational corporation owns and manages business in two or more countries by Neil H. Jacoby. So features of multinational corporations. So features of multinational corporations can be explained as follows. The first feature is huge assets and turnover. Because of operations on a global basis, MNCs have huge physical and financial assets. This also results in huge turnover of MNCs. In fact, in terms of assets and turnover, many MNCs are bigger than national economies of several countries. Second feature, international operations through a network of branches. MNCs have production and marketing operations in several countries, operating through a network of branches, subsidiaries, and affiliates in host countries. Third feature, unity of control. MNCs are characterized by unity of control. MNCs control business activities of their branches in foreign countries through head office located in the home country. Management of branches operate within the policy framework of the parent corporation. Fourth feature, mighty economic power. MNCs are powerful economic entities. They keep on adding to their economic power through constant mergers and acquisition of companies in host countries. Fifth, advanced and sophisticated technology. Generally, a MNC has at its command advanced and sophisticated technology. It employs capital intensive technology in manufacturing and marketing. Sixth feature, professional management. A MNC employs professionally trained managers to handle huge funds, advanced technology, and international business operations. Seventh feature, aggressive advertising and marketing. MNCs spend huge sums of money on advertising and marketing to secure international business. This is perhaps the biggest strategy of success of MNCs. Because of this strategy, they are able to sell whatever products, services they produce or generate. Eighth feature, better quality of products. A MNC has to compete on the world level. It therefore has to pay special attention to the quality of its products. So this is about the features of MNCs. The next part is advantages of MNCs. The first advantage is employment generation. MNCs create large scale employment opportunities in host country. This is a big advantage of MNCs for countries where there is a lot of unemployment. Second one, automatic inflow of foreign capital. MNCs bring in much needed capital for the rapid development of developing countries. In fact, with the entry of MNCs, inflow of foreign capital is automatic. As a result of the entry of MNCs, India, example, has attracted foreign investment with several $million. Third one, proper use of idle resources. Because of their advanced technical knowledge, MNCs are in a position to properly utilize idle physical and human resources of the host country. This results in an increase in the national income of the host country. Fourth one, improvement in balance of payment position. MNCs help the host countries to increase their exports. As such, they help the host country to improve upon its balance of payment position. Fifth point, technical development. MNCs carry the advantages of technical development than host countries. In fact, MNCs are a vehicle for transference of technical development from one country to another. Because of MNCs, poor host countries also begin to develop technically. Sixth one, managerial development. MNCs employ latest management techniques. People employed by MNCs do a lot of research in management. In a way, they help to professionalize management along latest lines of management theory and practice. This led to managerial development in host countries. Sixth one, end of local monopolies. The entry of MNCs led to competition in the host countries. Local monopolies of host countries either start improving their products or reduce their prices. Thus, MNCs put an end to exploitative practices of local monopolists. As a matter of fact, MNCs compel domestic companies to improve their efficiency and quality. Eighth point, improvement in standard of living. By providing super quality products and services, MNCs help to improve the standard of living of people of host countries. So this is about the advantages. So next part is limitations of MNCs from the viewpoint of host country. First one, danger of domestic industries. MNCs, because of their vast economic power, pose a danger to domestic industries, which are still in the process of development. Domestic industries cannot face challenges posed by MNCs. Many domestic industries have to wind up as a result of threat from MNCs. Thus, MNCs gave a setback to the economic growth of the host countries. Second one, repatriation of profits. Repatriation of profit means sending profits to their country. MNCs earn huge profits. Repatriation of profits by MNCs adversely affects the foreign exchange reserves of the host country, which means that a large amount of foreign exchange goes out of the host country. Third one, no benefit to poor people. MNCs produce only those things which are used by the rich. Therefore, poor people of host countries do not get generally any benefit out of MNCs. Fourth point, danger to independence. Initially, MNCs help the government of the host country in a number of ways and then gradually starts interfering in the political affairs of the host country. There is then an implicit danger to the independence of the host country in the long run. Fifth point, disregard of the national interest of the host country. MNCs invest in most profitable sectors and disregard the national goals and priorities of the host country. They do not care for the development of backward foreign regions and never care to solve chronic problems of the host country like unemployment and poverty. Sixth point, misuse of mighty status. MNCs are powerful economic entities. They can afford to bear losses for a long while in the hope of earning huge profit once they have ended local competition and achieved monopoly. This may be the dirty strategies of MNCs to wipe off local competitors from the host country. Seventh point, careless exploitation of natural resources. MNCs tend to use the natural resources of the host country carelessly. They cause rapid depletion of some of the non-renewable natural resources of the host country. In this way, MNCs cause a permanent damage to the economic development of the host country. So we can summarize this session by saying MNCs join hands with big business houses of host country and emerge as powerful monopolies. This led to a concentration of economic power only in a few hands. Gradually, these monopolies make it their birthright to exploit poor people and enrich themselves at the cost of the poor goods working class.